We should all get a message. All right, everybody got a message? So hi, everybody, welcome. This is the first for the fall of 2021 Friday Ambassador Workshop Series for the Student Leadership Academy. We're happy that you could join us. Thank you all for being here on time. We still have some people checking in. I think Andrea's monitoring the door. So let me introduce myself. My name is Jason Lipfeld. You've gotten a ton of emails from me over the last couple of days, either inviting you to be part of a certificate program or inviting you to be part of the Leadership Academy itself. And we're happy that so many of you decided that you wanted to join us. We do some extraordinary work during the course of a year, and it is all student focused. So if you want to make a difference and you want to make an impact both on the campus and in the community, you've come to the right place. I'm here as sort of a mentor, if you want one, as an advisor, as a security blanket if necessary, as the person who answers questions that maybe don't have easy answers. Also, once you sign that paper and you say you want to be part of the Leadership Academy, I'm the guy who will write the recommendation letters from you, take the phone calls about you guys getting a job, and give you as much support as I possibly can as you pursue your journey, wherever it is that it's going to take you. So my job doesn't stop when you leave the halls of Hostos. And we haven't really seen the halls of Hostos recently, but you get the idea. But my job continues on until you graduate from your bachelor's program, your master's program, your PhD, you know, whatever it is that you dream of doing. And I still try to support and mentor folks even past that. So we have a United States diplomat, we have an anesthesiologist, and we have Saint, who is a wonderful alumni of our program, who graduated from here and served in multiple capacities at the college, both as a member of the student government and then as its president, as an ambassador in the Student Leadership Academy, and in a number of different places around the campus. And he has since gone on to do some extraordinary things on his own, including going to participate in a program of study at Harvard University. And he has come back often to speak to the campuses of CUNY, but also to many other campuses around the country. And I think he's sort of branching out into the world soon. And he is the author of multiple books. Before I turn it over to Saint, though, there were members of the SGA who just wanted to make an announcement. I don't know if Brian's here as of yet. Maybe anybody could tell me if that's happened yet.
Doesn't appear as he's here yet, Jason.
So if any of the members of the SGA are here and would like to make that announcement, I'm more than willing to have that happen now. If not, I want to honor our time. Our time together is really important. So if we don't have anybody right now, we'll come back to it. Just to let you know, the SGA has some openings and seats that they need to fill for the end of the semester, and they're looking for some people to join them. So I will let them either start in the chat and maybe at the end have that conversation. But let's sort of move on to our conversation today. So aside from all the other things that I just said about our speaker today, I want to say that he's a good friend. And one of the shining examples of a student at Hostos who takes advantage of every opportunity and sees the opportunity as a way of making an impact on his society. And so every time I see Saint, every time we visit with one another, have a conversation, I always look to hear about his great accomplishments, and he always has a great story to tell. And over the times that he has come to visit us at Hostos to speak it for the Leadership Academy, he has done an extraordinary job and made an effort to improve the lives of everybody he's come into contact with by giving them inspirational, motivational way to assess themselves and look forward and see how they can make a positive change in the society that they live in. So it's my privilege, honor, pleasure to reintroduce and bring back to you and offer you this wonderful presentation by my good friend, Saint Mbakap Boui.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you for inviting me again. And hello to you all, and welcome to the Friday workshops. Like some of you might know, I recognize some faces that I have seen again and again, and some of you might be new. So, like Jason said, my name is Saint Mbakap. I'm an alumni from the Hostos Student Leadership Academy. So I'm just where you are. I was sitting, listening to some guy just like me, just came in and talked to us about different things, about their experience, about life, about their experience, their career, and things like that. And is in those bench. Unfortunately, we can't be in person like we used to and have the fun that we used to have in person. So we're gonna try to translate that as much as we can through Zoom. So today's workshop that I have is something that I hold dear to me, and it have helped me a lot. So I said, okay, if I'm going back home, why not share things that I think helped me? And I think that's what we do as a Leadership Academy. We inspire with each other to move forward. We inspire each other to do what we can to step into our greatness, to do things that might be amazing. So today's workshop, I titled it, let me share my screen to begin with so we can follow along. All right, so can you guys see my screen? Awesome.
Yes.
So I'm just going to set it up so I can see you guys. Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to go to this. We're going to talk about your story, your own personal story. And I'm going to try my best to share as much as possible about my story. And when we're going to be talking about the story, and I'm going to be taking example and sharing my story, it's not for you to look or to be impressed or to what it's not. That's not the goal. The goal is for me to share some of what I did, some of what I think will help you as you write your own story. The whole idea of writing your story is, I am a firm believer that we all write our own ticket. We have help in order for us to move in the direction that we're trying to move into. But in order for us to move that way, we need to set up things right. And in order to set things up correctly, there's a lot of things that come into play. That when you think of it, you plan it, you arrange it, you make it much easier when you encounter difficulty that we are all bound to encounter, and it helps you be in the right mindset. So today, there's 6 little points that I want us to kind of navigate. And those, like I said, those 6 points, I think, is a typical layout of a story. So if you, in every English classes that you take, they're going to walk you through a story or a book, they're going to touch this point. And the way I see life is that at the end of your life, if you write a story, what will it be? What will your story be? And I believe that you shouldn't wait for the end of your life to start writing the story of your life. So while we are in it, it's the moment, the best time for us to write it. It's the best time for us to arrange it. It's the best time for us to make that story be not only impactful, but to be useful to others, to be such that when we leave this earth, we can rest in peace. We can say, yeah, we did what we were supposed to do in this life. And in order for us to do that, there's a lot of things that come into play. So today we're going to be talking about those things. And all we're going to be talking about it, even though we're going to be talking about story, our story, how to live it, how to approach it, perspective, and so on. We're going to be, all this short workshop is about setting goal, proper goal that suits you like a pair of shoes, a goal that is made for you, that is tailor-made for you. And the way I believe a goal should be written is a goal that takes in consideration every single aspect of your life. And through this workshop, we're gonna go through that. As we go, I'm gonna ask you to do stuff. It's not gonna be just me talking. It's gonna be about us interacting in terms of, I'm gonna ask you to do some exercise. When I do ask you to do an exercise, I know it's silly. I know when somebody say, write down something, it sounds silly. It sounds like, hey, I got the point. Why are you forcing me to write that down? I got it. I understand the point. But I'm gonna strongly encourage you to actually do that. When we say write down, take 5 seconds, 5 minutes, write something down, take those 5 minutes, think about it, write it down. The reason why you do that is because, intellectually you got it, but physically you also have to engage in it. You have to contribute to it. You have to sign off on it. That's basically what we're going to be doing. So without further ado, let's start with the first point, your setting. So in every story, right, like when you watch a movie or you read a book, they always start somewhere. Once upon a time, there was a guy or a girl that wanted to achieve X, Y, and Z, and they went through all this. The first thing that they do before anything, before they explain, before they go through the story, the very first thing that every author, every movie star, every producer does is give you the setting. So the setting help you see where the whole thing start. Where did it start? How do we go from there? Where did it begin? Where does the story start? So if you're planning to write goal, efficient, effective goal that you can implement, that you can do on, the very first thing you need to know is your setting, understanding your setting, because when you become an adult, your setting change. So when you're a kid, you pretty much have a certain setting. You have your parent, they have a control thing. But as you become an adult, you go to college, your setting will be different than anybody else that you meet, and it will forever be different. Things will be different even between members of family. As we all know, things are different. It's not because you're born from the same family that you have the same destiny or even the same view on things. So how do you go about writing your setting? I believe there's 3 things that goes into the setting. The time in which you're starting to check. So what time are you checking your story? When I'm talking about the time, I'm not talking about the hour. I'm talking the year where you decide, hey, from now on, I'm going to write my story. From now on, I'm gonna change, or I'm gonna create or work through this story. I'm gonna create this amazing life for myself, for the people around me, for the people that I encounter. The moment you decide to do that, you would start, that's the time that you will write down as the start of your time, of your story. Yes, you were born at a place, you were born at an age. So now you can go from where you are and retrospect into time to see how you got there. So the idea behind writing down your setting is for you to identify where you come from and where you are now, so that you can see what the story could be, how the story can unfold. The place where you are. So if today is the day where you decide, hey, I'm changing my story, I'm writing my story, you can write down the time. Today is the Friday, is the 8th, is November the 8th, 2021, and I'm trying to change my story to be this amazing story. So over the course of this workshop, hopefully you'll put together those little pieces together. And at the end of the workshop, you have an idea, a clear idea of what your overall story should be, so that you can see how to divide those stories into little chapter a day, and then make that book as big and as famous as that book could be. The situation. All of us have different situations. We encounter different situations. We have the environment in which we are. We have different things that create that situation. So we have the time, we have the place, then we have the situation. three things that determine the setting, your setting in which you operate. So a little bit about me, right? Just mentioned earlier, I'm originally from Cameroon. And if you cannot tell by my accent, it's Africa, Central Africa. That's where I was born, that's where I was raised. So that's the place that I still call home, right? It's my home, it's where I grew up. No, I lived in Cameroon for my entire childhood. So I moved to the United States as an adult. When I moved to the United States, I had number of challenges. First challenges was I couldn't speak English. That's part of my setting. I was default, I couldn't speak Spanish. I couldn't speak English. So I couldn't speak the language of the land in which I was. But that's, again, part of my setting. When I got into the United States, I started learning, I started developing, I started going. A couple of things did happen to me. I went into Hostos, like you guys are now. At Hostos, I met incredible people. I learned a whole lot of things. From there, I went to Harvard, where I went to the extension school, studying business analytics, which was another interesting and amazing experience that I got to experience. I worked for a company called American Burger, which is a large work supply manufacturer. I worked for Keller Williams as a realtor. I worked for Weicker as a consultant and in manager and all those other titles that I don't give this name here. So this is going to be our first exercise, identifying what is our own setting. So I share with you some of my setting, right? This is today's. I have been through some of the things. I come from another country. I speak another language. I'm here in the United States. I do a certain number of work, and I'm a student. That's part of what my story is about, right? So it's part of my setup. So what I want to do in this very first exercise is I want you to take 5 minutes, right? Think about your setup. Think about your setup. So what we're going to do, you're going to write down a couple of phrases or a couple of points or a couple of things that you remember from your setup when you decided to change your life. I don't know that, you probably know. If you haven't decided that you wanted to change your story, this would be an amazing time for you to write down. Write down the time where you decided, hey, my life should change, and here's a direction in which I might want to go. What made you come to the Leadership Academy? What interested you into this organization? Those are some of the questions that you can ask yourself as you go through this little exercise. So if you haven't got a piece of paper yet, get a piece of paper, get a pen, write down something. I don't want to call up on names, but after we write down for about 5 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to allow one or two of you, a couple of you, to share with us some element of the story. Whether it's the place that you want to focus on, the place you were born, how you got here, and things like that. Whether it's the time you decided that, hey, you might want to focus on how you're going to set up your goals and set up your lives and stuff like that. Or it could be also the situation in which you find yourself that made you decide, hey, I need to push myself. I need to do something. Because I'm pretty sure if you are on a Friday afternoon in a meeting regarding leadership, expecting to just learn something, it's because you are driven. If you weren't driven, you won't be sitting here. There's a lot of people at Hostos. I'm pretty sure now you have thousands of students at Hostos. Why are you here? Why did you decide that this would be the time for you to attend the workshop? So again, take 5 minutes and write down, after you've written down your setup, I want some brave soul in the group to unmute themselves and share with us the setup.
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
My place, I feel, is Boston too, just like you.
Yep.
I know you went from Hostos to Harvard, and I want to do something like that also.
Awesome. What's your name, please? As you
Osorio from Hostos Community College. This is
Yep.
my last year.
awesome. Congratulations.
So we have I think we need to run a timer, Saint. Who has a timer?
Yes. Do we have a timekeeper? No. Who want to be my timekeeper for today's workshop? For them to run my 5 minutes.
I think Andre's the perfect.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Thank you, Andre. So
we're at 4 minutes 30 right now, Andre.
awesome.
All right.
Who else want to go? Share with us your setup.
I can go. My name is Ryan Pleasant.
Hey, Ryan.
So I'm originally from Virginia, Clover, Virginia, where I grew up on a farm. And growing up there, it made me very interested in animals. So when I moved up here, I wound up going to, it was like a volunteer group that was in my neighborhood. I wound up doing volunteer work with them, and it made me want to go to school to be a veterinary technician. So since then I did schooling, got my vet tech license, and now I just been working in different places as a vet tech. So I guess
Awesome.
that would be my story.
Awesome, Ryan. Thank you for sharing.
Of course, thank you.
I want to go next.
Just go ahead.
All right. My name is Fatima. My story is a little bit similar to yours because I'm from West Africa, precisely from Senegal. I've been in America here for exactly 22 months. So my challenge too was to learn the language, get adapted, and the system adapted to the people, adapted to the system, adapted to everything. And it was hard, but I was happy to know that, this is America. And if you want to study, if you want to become somebody, there's a lot of way you can get to your goals. So yeah, I studied, got my GED in 1 year, got to college. Here I am, and I'm studying civil engineering. Hopefully soon, less than 6 years, you're gonna be hearing about me with my big business about construction, and y'all are gonna be coming to me to help you build your whatever project you have in mind.
Awesome. Thank you, Fatima. That is awesome. And wishing you all the luck to creating all those businesses. As we go today, hopefully we help you clarify more on how you're gonna go and accomplish just that.
Thank you. Sure, I have a business plan already.
Awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing. Who else want to go? Don't be shy. You still have a couple of minutes.
Hello. Excuse me. Hello. I'll go.
Sure.
My name is Kim Lloyd. Mine started is that I was born in New York City. I went to Christopher Columbus High School. I worked for about good 20 years, and now I'm at Hostos to get a degree so I can go back to work. I want to be a social worker, and I want to help people. It seems like in these days and times, people need help with a lot of things, and I want to help them with them. I volunteer with City Harvest. We're giving our people food twice a month, and that's about it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Kim. Who else? Want to go next?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Kobe Jacobs. This is my second year at Hostos, my last year. I was born and raised in New York City. And I just joined the SLA, which is basically like my first step into like anything really productive in adulthood, you know, just not just being a child and just going into my own. I'm currently studying electrical engineering, hopefully to make it big and just become something that I don't really see around my area. So yeah, that's my story.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Jacob. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Who want to go next?
I'll go next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sonia Jo Hamilton, and I am at Hostos actually studying to become a nurse. And ever since I was a child, I wanted to be a nurse, but being an island girl, I'm from Jamaica, it was difficult. It's very challenging financially. It's very challenging when you're surrounded by everyone else that, you know, they have challenges as well. And so I didn't know what to do, but I knew what I wanted. And so when I came to the States, I was lucky enough to be introduced to a counselor, and she kind of helped me. She asked me one day, she said, Sonia Jo, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be a nurse so badly, but I don't know how. And we decided to do Hostos, and the reason why is because I was there one day, and there was a student, she didn't know how she was going to continue to her next semester. And a professor actually paid for her tuition for that semester. And I was like, wait a minute, there are actually people in the world that will do that, you know? And I was drawn to Hostos since then. I chose to join the SLA because with the pandemic, you don't really have a choice. Like you're locked inside. You don't really, you're not productive. You're not as productive as you'd like to be. And so I'm here to learn and to meet people. Even though it's online, it's still a form of, you know, interaction. So I'm very excited. So that's a bit of my journey.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everything.
Saint, I just want to take a note that the 5 minutes is up.
Thank you. So Hamilton will be our last speaker for this part. So thank you. Thank you all for sharing. And as you share, you see that some of you will have similarity in your story. And as you tell the story, the idea of story is that most of the time we think that we live in such a unique life, such a unique circumstances, which is not true. The reason why I like the concept of story when you think about your life is because other people have lived that too. And a lot of people have lived that and they have recorded what have worked for them. So if you're clear about what kind of story you're trying to put together for yourself, you have people that have worked that have done exactly what you're planning to do. And they can be role model. They can help guide how you make your decision. They can help guide you through good and bad decision, basically. When you come in now, a lot of you share that some of you were born here, raised here, and you joined in the Leadership Academy. A lot of people have done that. They have done that and they have succeeded in the past. They have that exact story. Some of you came from another country and came here and joined the Leadership Academy. Well, a lot of us have done exactly just that. That means if people have done what you're trying to do, it means not only is possible, but you can do it better because you don't have to go through the mistake that they have made already. The importance of identifying your setup and understanding where you stand and understanding what your story is and how to build your story is because you can verify those elements. You can check how you make decisions. And because you can check your decision, you can make better decisions. Because you make better decisions, you'll have better results. You'll be more likely to construct just exactly what you want. not just in terms of goal and target that you need to reach, but in terms of if you want to be a social worker, like the other your friend said. If you want to be a social worker, they have people that have done that. They have experience. And Jason is one of the greatest people that you can meet regarding those things. Can put you in connection with people that have done just exactly what you're trying to do, which you have done for a lot of us. So as we move, we're going to talk next on the characters. You're going to have a lot of character in your journey. You're going to meet a lot of people that will change your life. A lot of people that will completely change your life, and from the good or from the bad, because all people you meet are not going to be they're not all going to be Jason, right? Some of them not going to be very good, but all of them going to build your story. All of them going to be part of your story. And preparing effectively on how to deal with those different category of people will help facilitate your story, will help facilitate your life. Because I use the term story a lot. But here, when I talk about stories, not some strange magic thing that needs to be on the book, it's what you live. Because at the end of the day, your life is a story, whether you take it like that or not. It's a story. You have a start, and then you have a continuation, and then there's an end. All of us, no matter who you are, you're going to go through those steps. You're going to have a beginning where you're born and a day where you will die. You can't change that. Since you can't change that, it made that it's very clear. It's a finite life. You want to do the best you can to live the best life possible. And living the best life possible it's a lot of things. Among those things of living a best life is, creating a journey that you enjoy, not just a target thing that you need to do to become whatever, a journey that you can experience through. And to help you experience those things, you have character. So those characters, you have protagonists, people that are going to be on your corner, yourself, people like Jason. Like, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. When I was in Hostos was one of the building block of who I am today. I have met incredible people there. Jason is still my mentor to today. When if I need a request, I need something, I can, hey, Jason, can you write that recommendation for me? And, he would say, yes, I'm do that. And I heard of story of people emailing him at 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, hey, I need this by 6 tomorrow morning. Can you have this done by 6? You imagine having somebody like that in your corner? That's amazing. I cannot overemphasize that. Having good people on your corner is life-changing. It's life-changing. You must have those people in your corner. But now, how will you know that there's that type of people? How will you know who to have in your corner and who is who? Because among the people you meet, for sure, you have people that will be on your corner. You have people that will help you build. But also you have, antagonists, people that are there, like they was putting this just to hurt you. They're just there, like they're just there. Yeah, some of them, you call them hater, they're there, they're not gonna disappear. So no matter what life you decide to live, it doesn't matter what story you decide your life will be, you have antagonists is to be expected. So if you expect that and you know that you're gonna encounter them and you prepare to encounter them, when you encounter them, it's not a surprise. You're like, oh, I was looking for you. It's been a while. I was looking for somebody just like you. I've been overdue to meet somebody like you. Like, it's no more like, hey, man, he hurt me in my feelings. No more of that. It's like, hey, finally, it's been a while. I spent like 2 good years. I didn't meet somebody like you. Welcome. You are a chapter in my story that I was missing. So now you start to, when you meet them, it's no more, hey, man, this person did me wrong, or this person is not okay. Welcome. Now, how am I dealing with you? When you writing your story, those are things to be expected. You need to build people that will be on your corner, that you know that, hey, no matter what happened, that person will be there. They will support me. They will encourage me. They will, if I need somebody to listen, they will be there. No, when you encounter also the person that is there just to, hey, this person is like, they made it. They were sent to earth just for you. They was just sent. Like some of us, you can encounter them at work, you encounter them, they could be classmates, they could be professors. It could be you get into a class and there's the professor there who, for some reason, they just don't like you. It's normal. It's not unexpected. It's not a surprise. The way I personally have dealt with it is that I'm looking for them. I know that, okay, if I'm in an area, or if you're trying to do, whenever you're trying to do something that is truly great, you're going to have opposition. And when you have opposition, you have to be prepared mentally that, hey, they're going to happen, and here's how I'm going to handle them. So if you haven't decided what you're going to handle, how you're going to deal with antagonistic people, I would strongly suggest that you think about it. Because, hey, no matter what they do, they'll be there. So when they come, how will you deal with them? Are you prepared to deal with them? Are you prepared not to be disturbed in your road or disturbed in your journey, not to enjoy your journey because of that particular person that make you not sleep at night while they're having a great sleep? Because it doesn't take much for somebody to mess your whole day up. And when your day is all messed up, your head is all in shambles, and you go to bed, you can't sleep, they're sleeping well. One of the things that I personally use is that, hey, the person that got me mad today at 5:30 when I was leaving work, what are they doing now? Pretty sure they're not thinking of me. They already did the damage. They already move on. So what can I do to go past that? If it's a particular situation where you have to deal with that person for an extended amount of time, let's say that person is, let's say, God forbid, your boss, right? They're there. You have to plan, either you plan an exit way, or you plan how to negotiate living with them. But you should not let them disturb your initial plan, your initial goal, your story. You should not let them impede on what you're trying to build. Because if you do, then everybody suffer, not just them, because they have reached their goal, they're happy. But everybody that will benefit from whatever you were building will not benefit from it. And because they won't benefit, the world is worse off because of that. So do not let those antagonistic people change or disturb your flow, or disturb your story, or stop your story. They're just part of the story, your story, a very minor part. Also, you have dynamic people who are just there. They're just there. They're not going to be doing much for you. They're just going to be there. There's what I call noise. They're there. There are those people on Facebook that you don't know. There's those people on Instagram who will leave comment one day that make you very happy, the other day that make you very mad or very sad. They're just noise. They're there, but they don't serve you any purpose. They don't help you construct on your goal. They don't even impede on your goal, because in reality, you don't even know them. And all day we have them, If you have a phone, you have a couple of apps, you're gonna have those people that will either make you, one day you post something, they comment a lot, they like it, you're happy, they share, you're happy with it. The next day you do, they just hate everything you do. They hate you with a passion, even though they really do not matter to you. So what you want to do is with those, what I suggest you do with those is just ignore them as best as you can. I know it's harder, it's easier to say than done, but as best as you can, manage to remove the noise as far away as possible. So deal with those characters as dynamic characters. They're just passing through. They're not going to have a lasting impact in your life. They're just passing through. So their opinion at that particular moment don't matter. It does not matter what they say. Either they approve it or or don't approve it. Either they love it or hate it. It's really irrelevant for how your life will go. So when you encounter those characters, know that they know who they are, know that they're just character passing by. Now you have your confident. The confident are the people that you actually trust, that you actually know that, hey, they're people like you call the phone and you know that, hey, if I pick up the phone, I will call this person, they will answer, and they will do their best to give me the best advice they can. Doesn't mean that the advice will always be correct. It doesn't mean that they will know everything, but they will do whatever they can to make it work, to give you the best advice they can. So now we talk about those different characters, right? When you encounter each of those characters, you need to know how to treat them. You cannot treat your antagonistic people the way you treat your protagonist people. The people that are there for you, you need to treat them well so that they're there for you. You need to make sure that you treat them well. Whether that's your family, your friends, your brothers and sisters, you need to make sure that you treat them well. And you remember that they're who they are. So that even when they do something that is out of place, which will happen, you can remember that, hey, this is still my people. They might have made a mistake here, but here's the 1,000th time they did something well. Here's the mistake that they did, and you can address issues instead of, So my experience through Hostos have brought me, like I said, a whole range of character. I have got to meet, I got to travel. So with the Leadership Academy, I got to go into the Model United Nations in DC. We went to the Model Senate. We went to multiple. I could not fit half of the photo that we have this is mostly Hostos thing, Hostos and Harvard kind of picture. I cannot fit half of the thousands of photos, but I will invite you to go to the Hostos Leadership Academy and just check how we do. Because even though I'm not a student at Hostos anymore as today, I'm still very much part of the SLA, as much as I would want to be. So another quick exercise, 5 minutes, right? Who are the people that you associate with on a daily basis? Do you categorize them? Have you categorized them? What group are they in? You meet a lot of people through the day. If you have somewhat of a schedule, you meet a certain number of people through the day. And from those people, select a couple of them and see where they fit. How will you put them in your story? Where will they fit in your story? Are they the protagonist? Are they antagonists? What group are they in? So I don't want you to call names here because they might or might not be on this group. But I want you to think of them in terms of proportion. How many people do you encounter in your close surrounding that are protagonists, that are helping you, that are trying to help you move forward, that are helping you build, that are helping you? If you realize that when you're counting all the people you encounter through the day, most of them are antagonistic, that means your life needs major change. You need major restructuration of your people, or of the people that you are around. I think one of you mentioned that being in the Leadership Academy was one of the first is productive experience. I don't remember exactly what his name was. It was one of his most productive experience. And when that's the case, you want to make sure that you get in contact and you connect with as many people in that environment as possible, so that you have a greater percentage of people that are helping you build than the people that are against you. Because when you have that, whoever, it doesn't matter who, whenever you meet an antagonistic person, you can rely on those people. The bigger they are, the better it'll be to support you through through that, even through just, I understand your pain. That's sometimes enough to help you keep moving. So I want you to take a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, and write down or write down those group or those people. Again, you don't have to share them with us here, but you might want, if you like, you can come up and tell us the percentage. How do you see? How many people in your current close group are for you? How many people in your close group really play against you? How many people are confident that you know that, hey, if I call this person, no matter what time, and I talk to them, they will give me whatever they can so that I can move forward. So you have 5 minutes. Let's write that down. Yeah.
Andre, you're our timer. Can you
Got it.
maybe everybody should like split a piece of paper in half and then write on it. I have an interesting question for you, Saint. Maybe you can answer it. Maybe somebody's
Sure.
gonna have this in their mind. Can one person be on both sides of the list?
Yes, somebody can be on both sides of the list. But when somebody's in both sides, somebody can be on both sides of the list depending on the time. And again, based on the setup and based on the chapter in which you are, the person can be in both sides of the list. But again, as we go through this, the idea is you hide the big story and then you have each day, each chapter. On each chapter, the person that is today protagonist could be antagonist tomorrow, but that will be another day. But in general, you have people have in general category, how much good compared to the bad do they do? And then that's where you divide them. If somebody is always on your corner, always do whatever they can to help, one day they can give you an advice that they think is great, would be against you. One day they might not see the vision that you have. They might not see where you're going. Because they don't see where you're going, they'll be against that progress, against that thing that you might be, that might be your story. That might be something that will help develop your story. Because they may not see the end. There will be, so I want to differentiate these two. The way, at least in my head, the antagonistic and the protagonist could switch. The confident is the person that don't switch. It's the person that you know that, hey, no matter what, this is my 5 people that it doesn't matter what time. If I have an issue, this is my 5 people. Protagonist is the person that help you go through that. They might not be as constant as a confident will be, but they will be on your corner. You know that they're on your corner. I don't know if I clarified the idea. So as the time goes, if you have a percentage in your head, please unmute yourself and tell us in your environment, what do you see the percentage? Antagonistic, protagonist. We're not going to talk about dynamic character. Dynamic character, they move on. You can have 20,000 followers on Facebook. They don't really change much to your story, really. Well, 20,000 will change in your story, but let's say your 10,000 friend, your 1,000 friend might not. So unmute yourself and share your percentage with us. You don't have to name names, especially if they're in the group. If they're not in the group and we don't know that, maybe that's up to you, to your distraction, to your distraction. Who want to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Kim Lloyd. My antagonists, I usually leave them alone. I just do what I have to do, and if I shine, I shine. But I keep my distance from them. I let them see me shine from a distance.
That's what if that antagonist is, let's say, your boss? How do you think? How do you deal with that?
I mean, I'll still work with them, but I'll do what I have to do, and then after that, when I shine, I'll be polite, I'll smile, and I keep going. That's the only thing I can do. You know,
Right.
long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm doing it the right way, I always feel like this. When you either they're going to accept you the way you are, or you're going to keep your distance. But either way, it's going to work out, because if we have to be in the same space, we got to work together. So that's how I look at it.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
So yeah, it's sometimes you need to leave them, as long as you have a strategy in your head on how you deal with them that do not affect you really, because the whole idea is to distance yourself from those characters. Distance yourself not just physically but emotionally for what their comment or what their action will be, what the action will be. See them as what they are. They're just a character, and they're playing their part. Like you said, they're just a character. They either will accept you or not. They're playing their part. Because they're playing their part, yeah, like Kim said, you play your part. You do your part, try to do as best of job as you can. That's what you can do.
Can I say something?
Sure.
As for me, what I see is there is no antagonist to me. There's always protagonist around me, because either he's a good person or a bad person, or have good or bad intentions. Always gonna teach me something, gonna help me go forward, maybe even 10 times faster. So what I say, good or bad, whatever come from you to me, analyze it. If it's good for me, then fine. If it's not good, I put it together. So you, however you see yourself as good to me or bad to me, it concerns you. But what I see you, to me, you're just someone who helping me going forward, either you know it or not. So that's my point of view, because I think more you have positive thought from yourself, you make your thought being positive, more you have freedom around you to go forward.
Yep. Right. Having a positive attitude and a positive mindset is very important. It helps you see things in positive light. But the truth is, in nature, you do have bad people. You know, it's good if you don't have the chance to encounter them as much. It's a great thing. But from time to time, you do have people that are either genuinely bad or don't go, at least are not going in the direction that you're trying to go, or are not following for one reason or another, don't believe on the direction of your story, or trying to impede the direction of whatever progress you're trying to make. And when that do happen, it's good to bring to approach either any of those situations with positive, open-minded, and like Fatima, you said, Fatima, I think. I keep pronouncing Fatima. I keep shortening your name up. But like I said, it's very good to have a positive view on those either situation, either the way, either the person or the situation. It's good to have a positive outlook on things. But again, you do encounter some of those people that are not trying to go in the direction that you're trying to.
Can I say one?
Is up.
So thank you. Thank you for sharing, and let's move on. So now we were talking about that a little bit now. Conflict and resolution. So you have character, you have your setting, the situation in which you are, the place where you are, the time in which you find yourself, and the situation or the environment in which you are. You have the character, you have different people that you're gonna encounter through your story. You're gonna encounter all those characters. And then what is inevitable is that you're gonna have conflict. You're gonna have conflict of many sorts, and you're gonna need to resolve those conflicts. And the most efficient you resolve the issue that come up or the conflict that come up, the better your story will be for you, for your own enjoyment first. And the better you reach that initial or target goal. So first kind of issue that come up is what we're talking about. You against other people. That's usually it come up. When it comes to idea, it come to processes, it come to action, people will not think the same. So because we don't think the same, we might not agree on things. That means you're gonna have, if you have an idea of how to do anything great, anything that is worth doing, you're gonna have people thinking different. People thinking that way would not work. That way is inefficient, or that way is not whatever. So you're gonna have people against that your progress or against what you're doing. And when you're gonna encounter them, and like I said, you need to have a strategy on how you're gonna deal with those conflicts to bring them to an effective resolution. So here I'm not particularly suggesting you one way or another on how to deal with those people. But what I would recommend is dealing with them through principles. So establish a way in which you operate. That is irrelevant that do not depend on who you're dealing with. So you're gonna have conflict. You know you're gonna have conflict. You need to figure out how you plan to resolve your conflict. Not depending on what the other person did or depending on how the other person act, but how you prefer to act, how you want your character to behave. And that's how you see, even in movie, when you portray that in movie, and then you have a character, you decide, okay, my character is going to approach life like this. When I deal with somebody that is angry, this is how I'm going to be. So again, you're going to find people that are angry. And when you meet those angry people, if you already have a predetermined and a predefined way of how you deal with angry people, you deal with them effectively. Yeah, we have a question. Abubakar said?
Abdul Abubakar.
Abdul, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, let me appreciate you, St. Mbakap, for the wonderful presentation you are making. I've been following everything, though I could not participate in the exercises from the beginning, but I've been following up very carefully and attentively. Because I'm busy at work, I've not been able to speak. I'm like you, I'm from Africa, West Africa, and Nigeria to be precise. I came into the country in 2018, and by God's grace, I was able to bring my family in after 3 months. And educationally, I never had such an opportunity back in Africa. When I got to America, I saw the opportunity. Immediately, I grabbed hold of it. I got my diploma within a year. Then I followed up. I got the admission to Hostos. My first period at Hostos was like a disaster because I don't know anything. I don't know the know-how. I don't know anybody how to go about it, It was stressful and tiring, But along the line, when I met people like Jason, through all this workshop, I belong to the SGA and all. So things began to lighten up for me. So the experience started becoming different. And the mindset I was having before started changing. That the extent we are in, I know it's my final semester this semester. I can say that I've achieved a lot because I have people in my corner that can boast of saying yes. There are people like Jason, people like Jerry, the president is there, and a lot of people Hostos. In fact, Hostos is my family. Because when you talk of the protagonists that I have, it's Hostos, they're all in Hostos. Aside Hostos out there is nothing. That's why the two things I really focus my attention on is one, my work, and two, my Hostos family. Educationally, the workshop wise, otherwise. Example, like you mentioned, JC, when I have certain issues to resolve, maybe academically, technically, otherwise, The first person I just send message or call Jason, and Jason always respond, no matter the time. He always respond. Okay, if you know it was okay, do this. If you don't, it's okay, let me contact. And he will do that. I will scale through. So I really want to appreciate Jason for the wonderful work he's been doing. I've been schooling and doing everything as undocumented immigrant. It has been difficult. Things have not been going too well. But by the grace of God, a week ago, I got my work authorization, my social security, and my parole travel document. That's
Congratulations.
where,
Congratulations.
thank you very much. That's where the antagonists now have to rise up again, because people are not happy for a milestone, a progress you achieve, because they want it to remain static and be answerable to them, which is not possible. Though life is unfair, life is also fair when you have the right people in your corner. Words of encouragement, like you say, words of encouragement alone. How is it? How are you doing? How are we going to go through this? Alone is enough. There's no amount of money somebody can give you that can change your situation. The only thing they can give you is that support, moral support, and otherwise. This is what I've been enjoying, this moral support from Jason and others at Hostos that kept me going. And I can say very well that I'm very happy, very confident, and I see brighter future in everything I'm doing now, just with the support I have from Hostos community. SLA to be precise. Jason, number one. Thank you very much. I appreciate all this. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you for sharing. And yes, protagonists and congratulations on everything that is happening to you. And I agree with you. I live that the same experience with Jason and Jerry and the Hostos family. So having good protagonists that will help when you're dealing with, and as you go into challenges, as you affront your antagonist, you need that team. You need your team. You need to build your team. That's what earlier I asked you to write down those characters, write down who are your protagonists and who are your antagonists. So when you're dealing with the situation, you know that, hey, I can go to this person and they will help me think through. Sometimes you don't even need somebody to do anything. You need them to help you think through the situation and how to go about resolving that. So you're gonna have those conflict, antagonists, protagonists. And in order for you to find a good resolution and find a solution for that particular conflict that you're having, you're gonna need those people. You're also gonna have different the conflict with nature. Oh, right. You're gonna have nature conflict. I'm still sharing my screen, am I? So you're gonna have protagonists again versus nature. You're gonna have the people that you're working with against the environment in which you are, which is basically the job that Jason does in the Leadership Academy. It helps us from the southbound there. It helps us in that center there to give us a view of what the world could be, which is a battle that most of us will have to face, right? How do we change? How do we go from where we are to something better? And some of it is exposure. You need your protagonists to show you the way where you can go and expose yourself to those things that can help you progress, that can help you grow. Some of it is experience. You need to experience different activities. You need to experience different things. That's why when we do things in the Leadership Academy, like volunteer services, you get to experience different levels. You do. And the volunteer services, at least from my experience in the Leadership Academy, is vast. It's from, you can go help sick people, you can go help homeless. So sometimes you stay in your situation, you look at your situation, you think your situation is bad, but you go do a voluntary activity, you realize, hey, it's worse, I can help more. Here's the thing that even where I am now today, here's the thing that I can do to help. And when you start thinking about that, you start thinking of progress. You can think how you can help more. And the more you think about those particular things, the more you grow in not only your capability in doing that, but your experience, the potential way in which you can do better. So you're gonna have those conflicts, yourself, the people in your corner against what the situation is, what the environment is. And you're gonna have to solve those, or you're gonna have to resolve those issues. So as you go through your experience at Hostos, I would strongly encourage you to, suck it in, experience as much as you can. When things like the Model United Nations come, be the first to put your name on the list. Because when you go there, you will experience things that will last forever, that you will take with you in your career, in your life, in everything else you're going to do. When voluntary services come, it's fun to begin with, it's fun to do it, but you also get to experience more than just the activities. You get to meet people that come from different backgrounds. I'll take a practical or specific example. When we went for the Model United Nations, we had the chance to meet people from all over the world that come from everywhere. And you get to talk to them, you get to see how the experience is, you get to see how they do in the particular colleges and university. For example, I met with people that was coming from Harvard when we were in the Model United Nations. It was a team from Harvard. And they actually encouraged me to think that, hey, they're not that brilliant. They're just struggling with this thing just like we are. They're not magically going through the exercise, or they're not magically writing position paper. They're all struggling to it like we are. I mean, they may not be such a special superhuman that we might think. They're just human. They're just like us. You go to other colleges. Oh, that's that fancy university. Let me go talk to those students. You talk to them and you realize, hey, they're just like me. They're just from a different part of the country or the different area, but they're just like me. I mean, if they can do that, I can definitely do that too. And those exposure are priceless. And again, it could be, and it will be in different, you will encounter your need to go past your environment at every level. And Paul and your protagonist, again, will help you through that. You need to have the vision on where you want to go. You need to have your story straight on what kind of story you're trying to write. And then with the help of your protagonist, you will get in that direction. No, you have your protagonist or your help against yourself, which is basically, I think it go back to the earlier question of Jason. So sometimes you have problem with your protagonist. Maybe they're seeing something that you don't see. Maybe you're seeing something that they don't see. And they will advise you with the best they can, but for something that you think at the moment, or generally at the moment, that you think against that. But as you go forward, as you have a push, what I want you to take, if there's one thing that you can take from this workshop as we go forward, is that think about strategy in which you will deal with those situations. Because the truth is, it's a story. Story have similar elements, and those elements will keep coming. And you need to figure out or find a way to deal with them before they happen, so that when they do happen, you already have a system in play. If you know that these people are people in your corner, if they're giving you an advice that you might not think is worth it, how do you proceed with that advice? How do you handle that? Do you fight and go away and say, I'm not talking to that person anymore? He didn't give me the advice that I wanted for that particular thing. No, you know that that person is there for you. Maybe that particular situation might not have been handled as you wanted or as you needed. But if you know that it's your book, you can go to them and you can talk to them. You can talk with them into how to do or how to proceed better in better way. What you most definitely gonna have is yourself against the society. That's just gonna happen. If you live in any society and you need to grow, the society won't make it easier for you. It's set up so it's not easy for you to just do what you want. So you're gonna have you and your team against the society. It's all not against, but you're gonna have to improve things because nothing change easily. In order for us to have change, any important change, one way or another, you need an opposition and you need to walk your way through it. So we're gonna talk about the next part, the team. So now you have your story, you have your story straight. In order for you to have a story, you have to be centered again on something. You need to be founded on something. What in your story, what do you want your story to tell? What story are you actually telling? Yes, you have character. Yes, you have people that will help you through stuff. But what are the story are you trying to tell? At the end of your story, what will be the message of your story? What will you want people to look at your story and think of? Will it be a story of the benefit of hard work? That somebody look at you and say, like, here's somebody that did not have a shot, that did not even have a prayer of becoming something. How did he master to do this amazing stuff? How did he master to do that? Your story could be a story of courage. This guy did this girl did so amazing stuff. Look at how they did. Look at all the challenges that they took on. Look at that energy, or look at that challenges, all the obstacles that they had. Look at them go, how they went through all those obstacles. It could be passion. It could be a compassion. You want a story that tell how big hearted you are. You know, what you did for others. That could be your story. That could be the thing. One example of compassion here, you will see, I can point to Jason easily on how many lives he changed, days in and day out, managing this, creating this program, giving advice, responding to call, you know, all those things. So I'm going to take a minute and talk a little bit about me. Personally, I want my life to be told simply that that's somebody that came from nothing and created amazing things. That's basically what I want my life to be. I want when I pass, I want to be like, that's the guy that created those amazing things. That's the one that's the guy that, against all art, created those amazing things. It's the reason why I do, when I wake up, I work. I usually work all day. I work from morning that I wake up until I'm so tired that I can't work anymore. That's when I go to sleep. So the reason why I do all that is because I want that's my story to tell. And I want, when my story is told, I want to be, hey, that's the guy that created this amazing stuff. And to be honest, it wasn't a resolution that I had long time ago. It's a fairly recent as 3 to 4 years that I have decided that this will be my resolution. This will be what I do. That means at any point, anytime, you can decide what your story is. No matter where you have been and how long, how you have been through your story, you can decide at any point to change the direction of where the story will be, to change the angle in which your story is going. And based on that, you can clarify how you're going to go about doing that. For me, what I decided to do is I'm going to create a company. So far, I have the pleasure to create 2 companies. My first company was UCell Lab. I created UCell Lab, was a cell engineering software. The second company that I'm actually currently working on, which hopefully our product will be launching soon, is Hoover Beer, which is a custom-made product that we are working on right now. So although I do that, there's still my setup, which did not change, right? My setup did not change. My setup to mean, hey, I still have a family. I still have to provide. I still have mortgage. I still have all those bills that's coming. So no matter what else I'm building, that setup won't change. So I need to attend to that. Because I need to attend to that, I'm making whatever else I'm making, I need to make sure that there's priority in how I operate my time. But since I want my story to tell, this guy created amazing stuff. I need to put in the work. I need to pay the price for that. Which means when I wake up like a normal person, I go to work. I will work 9 to 5. So before I get to work at 9, I have a lot of my meeting for myself in the morning. My day start at 7 o'clock, which means my real day start at 5. I wake up at 5. I have work at 7 o'clock. I have meeting. From 7 to 9, I have my own meeting for myself. From 9 to 5, I have a job that I have to do for somebody to pay my current bill so that I can maintain my current setup, or at least I can survive and respect the setup that I have, because I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to be creative. I mean, hey, no more setup. I'm changing all my life. I'm becoming somebody else. I could, you still have those responsibilities that you need to attend. So that's, as I'm doing that, I have to go through my day knowing that my story, here's what my story should be. I mean, when I work a 16, 17-hour day, I look at it, I'm happy. I should be tired, I should be mad, but when at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, this was a good one. This was productive. This gave me what I wanted. I'm ready for next day. I can't wait to wake up next day and do all over again. So among those things, along those lines, I also started writing. I started writing because I'm notoriously bad in spelling. And I'll be surprised if this presentation doesn't have any spelling mistake at all. I'm a terrible writer. Because I'm a terrible writer and I want to create great things, I decided I'm going to go in books. I'm going to write books. You see, that could sound crazy, but it's not crazy because, again, it's part of my story. I want to be the person that created. So I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm up to 8 books now, right? So as I'm writing, it's therapeutic. It's not really, the purpose is, again, I want to leave my team. I decided what my team is, and I want to leave it. In order for me to live it, I can't talk about it. I can't explain to people. I can't tell people. I have to do it. And the way to do it, and that's usually how it is. But it starts with a clear team. Because I'm clear of what my team should be, because I'm clear of what I want my story to tell, I know the work I need to do. Because I know the work, it doesn't feel painful. It feels normal. Feel like when I wake up at 5 o'clock to write, yeah, I will write. Every day I wake up and I take 5 o'clock to write. And I'm bad at it. Because I'm bad at it, but I do it every day and I practice on it. Because when I wake up, I say, hey, you say you want to be somebody that created stuff. You haven't wrote a word. So create. And when I put myself in this situation, I push myself more than I would normally do. As soon as I think about that, I remember, hey, here's who you want to be. If that's who you want to be, here's what you need to do right now. So another 5-minute exercise. We're going to take another 5 minutes and we're going to kind of answer this question. If you want to share it, share it. If you don't want to share it, if it's yours and it's a secret, keep it a secret. But we're going to take 5 minutes, think about it, unmute ourselves, and present the team that we want our stories to have. What is that story should be? So as you write down this, keep in mind, the team is not just a specific thing that you're going to do at some point. It's something that will encompass your whole entire life. I mean, it's a commitment that you made to yourself that, hey, at the end of my life, here's where I want it. Here's how I want it to look. So it's an overall purpose or overall goal, your overall mission, that statement that you want to make. So you can write it in a word, you can write it in this phrase, write it the way you like it, and unmute yourself and present. So you got me for the time there, right?
Yes, I'll start it now. Sing.
Awesome, thank you. So again, when it comes to team, personally, the way I approach it is, the more clear your team is to you, the more it will motivate you. It will motivate you. It will make you do things that you think are impossible. It will make you think that you go to bed at 3 a.m. and then you have a meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning. Be like, how am I going to make that? But you'll be surprised that you're not ever going to need alarm. Your alarm not even going to ring, because you're going to sleep with one eye open. By the time it's 6 o'clock, you're wide awake and ready. And that's how you want your team to be. And it shouldn't be that you need to work that hard. It's not, all team doesn't require the same thing. The reason why you write a team is so that you know what the requirements are. So you know what to do. You know what the requirement, you know what due you need to pay in order for you to get that story. Whatever your team is fine, as long as you are fine with it. And as we go, if you're ready, unmute yourself and speak.
Let me chime in a little bit. So
Sure.
the theme of, just to sort of echo what Saint's saying, but also maybe flesh it out a little bit. From my perspective, and Saint, please correct me if I'm wrong. The theme of your life is really the message that you want your life to have. And that may change over the course of your life from section to section. But when you think about it in terms of, living your life on a particular day, at a particular time period, in a particular year, in a particular season, however you want to look at it, there's a message that you want to have come from you that is sort of representative to the rest of the world. And it's your guiding force. And sometimes when you're in college, maybe you don't even know it. Maybe you're just so focused in on, I'm studying this and this is what my goal is, that maybe the message behind all of it is not necessarily as clear. But I think that's kind of what Saint is looking for, that message that you would like to shine out to the world and say, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm the way I am. This is why I'm making the choices that I'm making. Am I right? Kind of?
Absolutely, spot on. Like I said, mine just changed 3 years ago. So it changed over the course of as you grow, then that changed too. That changed with you. But as for now, because if you want to write like this and say, it's the message that you're trying to send out to the world and to yourself as well, that this is what I am. This is who I am. This is what I'm trying to communicate. So when somebody meet you, they see that. They can see that. You don't have to tell them. They can look at you, they can look at your action, and they can tell what that is. And again, it doesn't have to be detailed. It doesn't have to be a detailed overall plan. It could be one phrase, for example. It can be, I want to be a courageous person. I mean, I'm a courageous person. I mean, people need to see my action, courage. And it could be your team. Your team is courage. I mean, whatever challenge you face, you're going to approach it with courage. You're going to affront it. And because it's set up in the idea of having a clear team is because when it's set up in your head, I mean, when things come to you, you already kind of automatically know what the reaction should be. You kind of know already, okay, this is what I should react. A person like me react to this like this, basically. If you know that message you're trying to be, let's say you're trying to be a better leader. A leader react like this. When a situation comes, if you have an antagonistic person that faces you, a leader react like this. You know, your reaction is automated. You reduce your stress through the day. Whatever comes your way, you already have a predetermined path or a predetermined mode of operandum that you can use to face whatever challenge come your way. A person or two to go, and then we can move up to on this point.
5 minutes is up.
So let me ask you another question. So can any of you tell me what they understand when we're talking about team? So maybe you don't have a team for you, but did you understand the concept that we're talking about when we're talking about team here? The team in terms of your story or your life. Do you understand the term that we're talking about when we're talking about the team here?
Hello.
Yep.
Hi. Yeah, my name is Erica Ortiz. I'm second year at Hostos, going for a bachelor's degree. You know, with the intention to go to senior college. I kind of understand what you're asking, like what makes a leader in a team, like how to motivate or how to push people while pushing yourself. Is that what you're kind of asking?
Yeah, we're asking basically what motivates you. What is you? So what is one character that you can say motivate your actions, basically?
Oh, I mean, personally for me, it's drive, a need for achievement, betterment, you know, get more out of life instead of less. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of interpreting from this conversation.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Okay. Thanks.
Hello.
Yep.
So just to refresh, the question is, what motivates you?
In a sense, is what message, what motivates you, or what message will you want your life to echo? So what motivates you?
Yeah, I can answer this then. My name's Hamam, and this is my last semester, hopefully, in Hostos. After, want to go on and get a bachelor's in economics and computer science and things like that. But as for what motivates me, I would say potential. Like for me, I think everybody has a very high amount of potential, and at times a lot of us don't even believe it, or we don't even know it because we either didn't have people that told us, or we just didn't have the insight to look inward. So just being able to accomplish the things that are potential, because potential is just, it's just an idea, it's just a thing. It's like an empty glass, you could say, but you actually have to put in the work and the effort and actually just go on off of that to fill up that potential. But yeah, that's what motivates me, just potential in general.
Right. Thank you. All right, so let's keep moving as the time is chasing us. Let's move so we have a bit of time for potential questions. So another aspect of your story will be the plot. So the plot is like the twist and turn. In every story, there's those twists. There's area in your story. Your story is organized in a certain way, right? So the plot here will be, as you go through different situation or different stage in your life, different thing will happen. And you should expect some of those things to happen at a certain point. So how are you gonna organize your story? Are you organizing your story to begin with? Can you see where you are now? Here's the challenge that you're dealing with. Here's what the life is like for you today. But do you see also the future, potential challenges, next step? Are you looking at them as you're looking at your life now in the current state? Are you also looking at next step? Like this year you're in college. Next year, what will happen? You might still be in college. You might be graduating. If you're graduating, what does that look like? Does that graduate mean you look for work? Does that graduate mean, oh, you're going for your bachelor? What does that entail? How are you organizing your life? And better yet, what chapter are you in? What chapter are you living right now? What is the chapter that you actually look like right now? Are you in the beginning or are you living the chapter of awakening, which is usually what people experience when they are in the leadership academy? It's awakening. You start to see yourself and what you can actually do. For me, it was one workshop that I did in Hostos. I think I mentioned that several times as I come back to present at Hostos. It was Rashid, and I think he's scheduled to speak this year as well. He had this workshop where I don't remember what the workshop was about. It was a long workshop, 2 hours. I don't remember what the title was. I don't remember most of everything he spoke about through that day. I remember one thing that he mentioned that I have kept and I have tried my best to practice every day was become an idea machine. I don't know what the whole setup, but the point that he was making there is on becoming an idea machine was when you have challenges, you have to produce idea. Things are solved through idea. Idea change everything. The way you approach things, the situation that you're dealing with, whether it's a class, having a better idea of how to do things, change everything. And for me, that simple one fact changed literally everything in my life. He had one exercise that he suggests to do every day. It was wake up every day and write 10 ideas down regarding anything that you like. So you first start with things that you like, whatever direction you're trying to bring your life, find 10 ways in which you can do that. 10 ways in which you can do that. Write them down. The next day, take one idea out of the 10 that you wrote yesterday and ask how can you do that, and find 10 ideas how to do that particular thing better. And then keep doing that every day. It's an exercise which is very difficult, but to me, it has been very useful in clearing out my thought when I had challenges in any form, whether it's just my regular life and family, or whether it's a problem that I'm dealing with at work. That 10 ideas have helped me so much. And again, all the workshop and the trainings and the leadership training and the conference, for me, it helped me see that, hey, I can do more. I can be more. 5 years ago when I was in Hostos, I couldn't even imagine doing what I'm doing today. I couldn't even think of it. I couldn't even process that. Today, that's just a sign on. At my work, the last project that I worked with at my work was putting together a leadership development project for manager, which is exciting in and on his own. It's amazing to believe that a company, and a large company for that matter, think that I can have a good idea on those things. And honestly, the way I think have happened is based on that 10 idea a day that I produce. When it comes to any challenges, I have 10 ideas that I can, whenever I think of something, I produce as much as I have a book of ideas where when I have a question, especially at work that I need to, I can go to my book and find 10 things that I have written down weeks ago, months ago, that pretend to a situation that I'm used. So I don't have to think about that on the spot. I already have it because I thought of that a long time ago, and I accumulate that. So that's a long story to just say, to go back into what chapter are you in? When you are in your chapter, know what chapter you are. Look for what is coming next. And as you leave a chapter, experience it completely. Try to, like Jason mentioned earlier, that I try to ingurgitate a lot from the college. I was in almost everything. I was in as many meetings as the president of the college at the time. So I had almost as much meeting as he did. So I was not only a student, but I had to enjoy all the committee that I could get into, I got into. All the event that I could attend, I did. So soaking in so that that experience would not only enrich your experience, but it will prepare you for whatever come next, whatever come out of your next chapter, you'll be prepared for it. So what should you do next? That's the question. Do you have a plot for your story? Do you have a next step lined up in your head? Do you think of, okay, I'm doing this year. What does the next year look like? Do you have a clear idea that, okay, this is what my thing should be? I'm leaving this year, what next year look like? Do you have a plot in your head? So we're gonna take just 2 minutes for this one. If you have an idea of what your next year look like, and you open to share that with it, or would like to share that with us here, we have 2 minutes. Share that thought with us here.
Yeah, hi, me again, Erica. Yes, mine is senior college doing clinicals.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica.
Sure.
Who's next?
I want to say by next year, I'll be moving out of New York City and going to a school in California, a university in California.
Awesome. Congratulations. Who's next?
I would say that I'm going to be doing my clinicals next year. And I was thinking about this last night, where I haven't started looking for a four-year university yet. So that's my next step, is to start looking for something that is going to enable me to be a nurse practitioner, because that's where I want to be.
Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations.
Okay, the next one, Kata.
Yep.
Kata?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So by this month or in November, it's got permit, it got open doors. I'm gonna do PCT, and PCT stands for Patient Care Technician. So I'm gonna be working under a nurse. So if God permit, then I'll go into the field of nursing, into the field of healthcare. So from there, if I'm in, then doors will be open for me to be PCT, Patient Care Technician of Hostos Committee College, of class of charge. That's where man. It's a process. It's a process. So easy, I'm going to get to PCT, into healthcare, into nursing. So yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else want to go?
Was it Fatima who had like the whole plan set up? What about Fatima?
Fatima, where are you?
It's okay. I didn't mean to put anybody on the spot.
Who want to go next? Do you have your plan for the next step? Whether that's in a month, a year, 2 years, or 5 years.
Let me just say this, and you can echo this, I think. You know, the one great thing that we do as part of the program is that we sort of, and Saint mentioned it earlier, is that if you're deciding that you want to try something, that you're exploring that as an opportunity, and you need guidance from somebody who's been in the same position, meaning a student who graduated from Hostos and went on to be or do something that is similar to what you want to do. I've always been able to ask those people to like exchange a text message or a phone call and have that conversation. And I think those are invaluable conversations to have. So I heard somebody who was going to look at schools in California, and I wrote Stanford in the chat. We had a graduate from Stanford University who actually went there virtually for free in his time when he graduated from Hostos. He also was the valedictorian of our college. And he's around and he's willing to like talk to people about, you know, making that jump from Hostos to to California, to Stanford. And I'm sure Saint and Carlos and a couple of the others who went over to Harvard, Jean Buddha, would be willing to talk about that. And any sort of dream or desire that you have. We kind of, over the last 14 years, we've had like at least one person try it, go there, we're still working on it, and they can give you some advice.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. All right, so yeah, the last point that we're going to discuss here tonight is on the tone of your story. How you going to have what tone do you want your story to be? Will it be a tragedy? Will it be a sad story? Or do you want to leave like an uplifting story, a story that you can tell and people can be like, wow, I want to do just that. And like Jason just mentioned, if we have everybody that have done all those different things. So you have the opportunity to go to Jason and say, Jason, I'm thinking of doing this. And he will connect you to somebody, hey, we know so, and Jason is amazing of doing that. I know somebody, he remember like when I'm applying for a job and I'm thinking of all the things that I have done that this many times. I will go to Jason and say, hey, Jason, what have I done again? Can you remind me of the thing that I have done again? And he will make a bio that is better than what I personally remember doing. And it happened recently. I was trying to write a bio. I went to Jason and said, and I had a graph to what I put, which have like maybe 60 or 50% of what I actually did. When I went to Jason, he wrote another one like, oh yeah, I don't even remember this. Oh yeah, this one too. So having Jason there, you can go and ask him for your whatever your next step is, and he will probably connect you to somebody that can go and help you in that direction. For that matter, when it comes to tone, you have to decide what tone you want your story to be like. If you want your story to be an uplifting story, you have to build it. If you want your story to be an optimistic story, you have to build it. If you want your story to be a story around leadership, again, you have to build it. Your story won't be anything that you didn't plan for. Good story don't become good story by accident. They're written to be good story. They are made to be good story. And in order for you to make that story, you the writer, you are the writer, you're in the control, you're the one writing. It's your story is on autobiography. And right now you have the pen. You have the pen. You're at Hostos, you're writing. You are in a chapter. Whether you know it or not, you are in a chapter. And all you have to do is write the rest. Write the story as you want it to unfold. Write the story as you want it to unfold. The story is yours. The pen is in your hand. Write the story you like. You have your protagonist that will help you navigate through that. You have Jason and Hostos that will help you navigate through that. You have you might have other people. But even if you only have Jason, trust me, it's a lot already. You have contact. If Jason called me any day that, hey, there's this person that needs to talk to you, he knows the answer to that. It will be yes without hesitation. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure that there's many of us, hundreds of us, from all different careers. We have engineers from all different companies. We have lawyers. We have everybody in different fields. So having that opportunity to your hand and remembering that this is your story, this is you writing, remembering that everything starts with you and everything will also end with you. Everybody will work based on the story that you are trying to design. And if you're having challenges designing your story, you have your protagonist to lay on so that they can help you design the story that you want to write. With that, we're going to skip this last exercise. So this is the point that we actually covered today, the setup of your story. So remember, where you are is where you are. The setting of your story is what it is. You can't change it. You can't magically wish it away. You need to operate within that setting, which means as you plan for the next step, as you arrange things, you have to take that into consideration. That's why it's the first thing you have to do is look up, take a good look on where you are and what you need to do in order for you to go to write that story the way you want it to be written. So your character, you're gonna have character. You're gonna have antagonistic people that are gonna try to make you not reach your goal. You're gonna have people like Jason that will help you accomplish that. Conflict, that's just part of life. It will happen. Whether you want it or not, it will happen. Prepare on how you're gonna address it when it does happen. Prepare to how what you're gonna go to do for it. You're gonna have your goal in your life. You're gonna decide what chapter come next. You're gonna think about what chapter come next, and you're gonna determine what tone you want that whole experience to be like. What kind of person or what kind of story you want? Do you want a happy story or do you want a sad one? If you want a happy story, make every day happy. If every day is happy, then your story is, as it goes, it will be happy. If you want a humor or comedy, make every day fun. But when we say fun, it doesn't mean that you're not paying your due, you're not setting up, you're not preparing for the next step. You still do that, but you make sure that throughout the day, you have more laughter. So with this, if you have any question, we will open the floor for any question and clarification or anything that we cover or spoke about today. And don't be shy on question. We have a couple of minutes. Let's do that. Any question?
Mr. Saint, this is Henry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the process that you're telling us to implicate as we tell our story, I understand that now. You know, I never looked at it in that sense of we get to tell our story, you know, and at the same time we make our story.
Yep.
You know, so what that means is, like you said, the conclusion of the story is what we make it to be, a positive or negative, and we reflect that to our lives.
Yep.
You know, how do we see our lives being portrayed, or our legacy, so to speak, when we talk of leadership? Because we understand that we're not just doing this as an individual, we're trying to affect others. So yeah, we have to look at it in a positive sense as we tell our story and respect the process as we do that. So I want to thank you for that.
Sure, and you're right on. That's the message right there. You write your story in your pen by paying your due. You write your story with action. Action, write your story. So basically, like you said, you write your story and you get to tell your story. Your story will be told based on what you wrote, based on how you organize it. And it comes with, like we said, you set up your story, you implement, you set up the story, you find a character, you have a plot on what you're trying to have. You have a theme of your story, and then you select the tone of your story. All that is up to you. And you decide how your story will be by doing things daily to make that story be what you want it to be. So yeah, you're right.
I just want to say that as someone who has immigrant parents coming from Guinea-Conakry, West Africa, I was born here, but I think for like 20 years of my life, I felt so much pressure to be better than my parents. And I don't think they realized that that put a lot of pressure on me. So it didn't make my life easy, or it didn't push me to like have drive. So I think that's something that I was listening to your talks and I was thinking about that, because I'm like, you know, motivation is good, drive is good. And I do look at my parents and I wish I could give them the world. But right now I can't. But it's like, I don't think it's fair, especially for people that are not born in America, like parents, to put so much pressure on their children to be, I don't know how to say this, like to be more, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
I understand
I'm
exactly what you said.
yeah. Hello.
Yes, Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I may agree with her because I've seen a lot. Because I didn't born here,
Yeah.
so I just been living here for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot, but not my parents. My parents are a little different. They don't pressure too much, but some other parents from my country, they pressure their kids more than what they whatever their kids going through. They don't understand that, and then whatever the parents' minds, whatever coming up, they're putting all of this to their kids.
Yep. And you both are right. But again, you have setting. Those will be your natural setting. The environment in which you are, the parent, the mindset, that's your setting. That means whatever you decide your life to be, it will, as you plan it, you will know that, oh, those expectations will still be there. And you
sometimes
might,
it's critical to understand the parents, because they when some other relatives will say, oh, my kids is doing better in technology.
Yep.
And then suddenly they like technology. Oh, maybe if my son become engineer too, then he will make more money and better future. And then the kids really doesn't like at all the technology stuff. And then they put pressure. You have to be an engineer, whatever. I don't care. You have to be engineer, something like that.
I hear exactly what you're saying. I understand exactly the heart of what you guys are explaining. And to be honest, that's exactly in the type of family that I was raised in, into which you were told to do things. That's where I was raised. But again, those are your setup. The thing that
I don't like that. I don't like that. I just finished my 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I changed my major like already 3 times.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to find out what I'm fitting.
Again, so the thing is, when you start writing your story, right, you're gonna have, we say that, and that was the question that we kind of answered earlier in terms of your protagonist and your antagonist. So in this scenario, your parent want the best from you, so they're your protagonist, but they don't see where your story is going. So in that sense, they're also antagonistic to your story, right? And when I was saying dealing with conflict, that's in a typical conflict, right? What you would do is, okay, who dealt with this particular type of topic, and how did they deal with it? What kind of help can I get? So how open, because it is always in a range. Your parent can be completely closed or completely open, and they can be in between. If your parent is in between, that they can listen to somebody that can speak to them about potentiality other than what field you are, you can use that. You can say, okay, maybe I will find somebody that can explain them the opportunity that I have in the particular field in which I am. Again, Jason was just mentioning, and we talked about it through the workshop, that you have people that have succeeded in various fields. Sometimes it takes for them to see somebody that have succeeded in something other than what they're suggesting you to do, to understand that, hey, you're not crazy. You're not just picking something just for the fun of it. If you decide that, hey, you have one thing that you want, you have your team, you have one thing that you want to go after, you can find out people that have done it, people that have done that and that have succeeded in it. And you can have them as example. And when you're having conversation with your parent, and I know that you're going to say, hey, sometimes parents don't even want to have conversation with you because they don't believe you know what you want, or that you know what is best. But sometimes you can refer them to those people that have succeed. And maybe if you can connect with them as person, they can speak on your behalf. They can present your point. Again, it's a matter of, it's never a best answer to how you're going to approach your parents, they usually, because it differ drastically on who they are and how they process. But again, those are part of your setup and your conflict. You have to find way in which to resolve those.
All right, so I want to keep us on time, Saint. Couple things. I know Saint's story. So for those of you that were like speaking about the parents and like people having some sort of perception of what it is that you need to do, or they have to be, build a better ship than they built, whatever the pressures are. Saint had that exactly. I think he came to Hostos as a nursing student because of family pressures, and completely changed everything over the course of time that he was at Hostos, and then obviously, figured out all of the ways that he wanted to change from that, and is still changing, still reevaluating, still making positive impact on himself to build the perfect version of Saint, to leave the best echoes behind, so that the world can see the best qualities in him. So I want to thank you, Saint, for being here today, for starting off our workshop series. You know that I love you. I appreciate you. I remember a night when Saint and I were in a car together with a couple of others, and we had a deep conversation about what it really meant to be part of the Leadership Academy. It wasn't just about, okay, I'm going to come to some workshops. It wasn't about, I'm going to do some volunteer work. It was about, you are my family, and I am going to do the best that I can to help you get to the place that you want to go. And it was echoed around the car between all of us who were in there, that we really wanted to work together to make all things possible, to make our world a better place, whatever that meant. And I value Saint for all of the impact that he's made. I mean, he's grabbed people when he's been at Harvard to say, come and be here too, and given advice. And when people went to visit, he showed them around the campus. I mean, and still makes contributions in people's lives just by like having little chats with them, text messaging back and forth. They'll take a phone call all the time. I mean, so you have, one of the great things about this program, besides the folks who are like Saint, who graduated from the program, who'll take your text messages, is the people like Saint who come and do these workshops, like Brian Rashid will come next week. They can be your tangential mentors, right? They're not going to be with you every day. They're not going to say, okay, do this, do that, do the other thing, but they will follow you. They will give you feedback if you ask them for it. And I think Saint is a great advocate for each and every one of you. So take the advantage, if you can connect with him today or after today, friend him on Facebook, social media, all the aspects, and stay in touch and ask him for, feedback on your journey as you go through it, or the way that you're writing your journey. So, and then the other thing, I want to thank all of you for making contributions. Brian, are you still here, Brian?
Yes.
All right, so Brian is our student government president. I'm going to hide my face, and I'm going to let Brian just like do 5 minutes that he said he wanted to do, to let you know about what's going on with oh no, we can all be here at the same time. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. Hello, how's everybody doing? I just wanted to let everybody know the opportunities of the SGA is upon us. So I just definitely want y'all to take advantage of it. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's a good resume builder, and it's a good way to give back to your society and your fellow student body as well. We have 9 positions available. One of them being the evening and the part-time campus affairs commissioner. And another one is the evening and part-time student affairs commissioner. These are important commissioner positions because we have a student body that goes to evening classes as well. So this is a way we could provide opportunities for the students that attend classes in the evening. And also we have 7 senator positions, which we want people to fill these spots up because after this semester, after the next one, I'm probably going to need a whole new slate of individuals because a lot of people are graduating. So these are opportunities that are within Hostos to improve your overall well-being. You have to have at least a 2.5 GPA. You have to be able to be willing to lend us a undivided attention on at least Thursdays, because these are days that we have the meetings, and those are the days that's most important. So they're going to be from 3:30 to 5. We have a Senate, executive, and a college-wide Senate meeting. These are how you can stay in tune with CUNY and help just make important decisions that's going to impact our student body, like in our society, like I said already. And these are also paid opportunities as well. It's not like a paycheck, you get one-time stipend, but it definitely goes towards a good cause. And it just gives you a good feeling. Normally we would be in person, but unfortunately, because of the circumstances, we're going to be on Zoom. And then we're going to give you the opportunity to participate in workshops as well with the student, basically with the counseling center with Tova Thompson and Michael Martinez. So we have one that's coming up on October 26th, which is a Tuesday, I believe, at 3:30. The Zoom link will be provided for you. And this one is basically based on adjusting to the new normal. We're going to give out gift certificates to all the participants. And we just want students to give their opinions on how they're adjusting to the new normal. And basically, we're going to try to figure this out together as families should. So I just wanted to give my little token appreciation. Thank you, Saint. Appreciate you. Love you, brother. Just trying to carry on tradition at Hostos. And happy Friday, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's been my pleasure having you here. We do it every week. That's my job, to provide you with these opportunities to meet with all of these wonderful folks who are coming here to visit with you and speak to you. And we have set up the workshops for the entire fall semester. So I look forward to seeing you each and every week. And my name is Jason Lipfeld, and you know where I am because you have my email address and my phone number and my cell phone number. So you can always find me. And if you have any questions about anything that you heard today, you want to connect with Saint, you want to connect with Brian or the members of the SGA, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And there's no school on Monday, so don't go to the campus. I know not a lot of people are going to the campus right now, but enjoy your extended weekend. And if you're volunteering on Sunday with me anywhere, I look forward to seeing you. And otherwise, have a great weekend. And thank you again for being here. Thank you, Saint. Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Good weekend, everyone.
Good night.
Guys, everyone have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Have a good one.
There you go. Bye, Junior. Bye, Brian. Bye, Kim. Bye, Lamb. Bye, Raymundo. Bye, Bridget. Bye, Maria. Bye,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Have a good night.
See you on
Bye.
Thursday,
Bye,
Jason.
Brian. Bye, Sabrina. Bye, Ashanti. Bye, Hamam. Bye, Charles. Bye, Henry. Bye, Chris. Bye, Kobe. Bye, Andre. Thank you for being my timekeeper. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, Christian. Good to see you. All right. Take care.